Can you imagine giving up all social media? And I mean all of it. No Insta posts, no TikTok, no Snap. I'm probably the most popular girl who has ever been on this channel, but my obsessions with likes and follows made me really ill. But if I had carried on with my social media addiction, I wouldn't have made it here to one of the best fashion design colleges in the world. It all started 3 months before my 16th birthday. There was this other popular girl in my school called Chanel. We had to be friends because we were both in the popular group, but we didn't really like each other. One of the reasons I don't like her all that much is because her birthday is the day before mine. She's richer than me and throws these amazing parties, and everyone is always super excited about them. And sometimes, most of my friends even forget it's my birthday. Sometimes I was the most popular girl in the school, and sometimes she was. And whenever it was her, it made me really mad. We were hanging out at the mall one Saturday, scrolling our feeds, when this other girl, Claudette, suddenly said, "Oh my god, so funny, you both have exactly the same number of followers." Chanel was like, "Oh, that's so fun." But she immediately started messaging like crazy to get people to follow her more. It was so dumb, but it made me so mad. So I took a picture of myself looking really cute and tagged it, "Follow if you want to follow back." And I could see it had worked because Chanel looked annoyed. Then Claudette was like, "You guys should have a competition and see who could get the most followers by the time you're 16. I was like, "I don't know, Claudette. That's kind of dumb." And Chanel was like, "Yeah, Claudette. Like, who cares about followers anyway?" It was on. We'd had stupid arguments in competitions like this before, like when Claudette got concert tickets and couldn't decide who deserved to go with her. Or when Chanel kissed Jack Hamilton, who I liked since forever, and she didn't even like him. She just did it to spite me. Usually, our stupid fights fizzled out after a while. That night, I kept going over what I could do to get a bunch of new followers. I started posting loads about school and how our school was the best school, and it worked. But then tons of people from other schools started flooding my posts and saying I was arrogant, and they were sure our school was just as bad as all the others, and they started calling me names. And even though I didn't know them, and they didn't know me, it made me feel terrible, bullied. When I woke up the next morning, I had loads more followers, but Chanel had 10 more than me. I thought, how could I beat her? Then I got it. I can spend hours just dressing up and getting changed and thinking about color and fabric, and does it look cute with boots? Sometimes I customize, painting jeans, changing buttons, sewing on patches. I finally got the hottest outfit together. I snapped a pic. #style, #my room is my catwalk. Loads of people loved my post, but then the comments turned nasty, like, "Are those hand-me-downs from your Nana? #basic, #no clue. And you think you're a model? You're too fat to be a model." And you'll never guess what else. Mom made me macaroni cheese. Usually it's my favorite, but I was so upset about the mean comments, I really wasn't hungry. I could tell Mom was worried. She suggested I spend less time on my phone and go out and see Chanel and Claudette. I shouted, "Why would I want to hang out with Chanel and Claudette? They're just mean girls. You don't know anything about my life." And I stormed away without eating anything. That night, I was hungry and miserable and lonely, and I really wanted a hug from my mom, but I was too proud to tell her what was happening. There was no way in hell I was gonna let Chanel win. I got on my phone, I found all the people posting about style, and all the people doing follow backs, and I followed, and I followed, and followed. I didn't know who all these people were. I didn't care. I just wanted to beat Chanel. I wanted to beat her so much, I spent hours and hours on my phone that night. By the time my eyes closed, I was ahead of her by about 100. That would show everyone. The next morning, I had so little sleep, I felt really sick, like jet lag. I didn't eat anything. We were out in the field just before lunch. By this time, I had skipped 3 meals, so it's no surprise that after running around for a bit in the hot sun, that's right, I fainted. I was so embarrassed. Claudette and Chanel were like, "Mila is such a drama queen. I bet she did that on purpose." I was like, what? My mom came and got me from school. I ate some toast, which made me feel way better. My mom thought I was really sick and told me to go to bed for the afternoon. I took my phone. Fainting had been horrible, but now I had so much time to spend on social. I could grow my lead. I spent hours and hours looking at posts from people all over the world. They were all so pretty, and they had such great clothes, way better than mine. And also, they were thin, like really thin. Is this what it took to be successful in fashion? Maybe the mean comments have been right. Maybe I was fat. This went on for weeks. Even though I had way more followers than Chanel, I just couldn't stop myself from trying to get more. I was obsessed. But the more I posted, the more mean comments I got, the more I looked at all the thin, pretty girls, the less I wanted to eat. The more fashion designs I saw, the more sure I became that mine were all terrible. I thought, was there any point in even applying for a fashion college? My mom was so worried, eventually she called the person who can always talk some sense into me, Grandma. So let me tell you about my badass grandma. When she was little, some kids didn't even go to school long enough to read and write, and she was expected to stay home and look after her brothers and sisters, but she was also the first person in her family to go to college. She trained to be a nurse and joined the army and was a nurse all over the world. Then she left the army and did work with famines and cyclones and floods. Grandma told me she thought I should give up my phone for Lent. I was like, yeah, right, Grandma. I'm a teenager. Teenagers don't give up their phones. Then Grandma gave me one of her looks. I said, Grandma, you're just from a different generation. You don't understand how things work now. There is absolutely no way I can give up my phone for 40 days. I quickly tapped out a message. Taking a break from social media. # spending time with Grandma. And you'll never guess what. A few things happened once I gave my phone to Grandma. Now, I wasn't looking at pictures of skinny people all the time. I didn't feel guilty about eating food. And eating gave me energy to run around. I made some new friends on the athletic team. Without my phone, sitting in my room doing nothing was boring, so I started dressing up again. It was just as much fun without taking pictures. At the bottom of my wardrobe, I found a dress that I had tried to make a couple years ago. Working on the dress was so much fun. It was super satisfying to make something of my own. But pretty soon, I came to a part of the pattern that I just didn't understand. What was annoying was I just knew there would be a how-to video on YouTube that would tell me what I needed to know, but I had given up my phone. When Grandma came to check on me, I told her all about the dress and how it was so frustrating to know the answer would be on YouTube, but I didn't have my phone. Grandma looked at the pleats I was trying to do. She said, "This is just like tying a shoulder sling." And we had it done in no time. I was so proud of it, I took a picture and sent it in as part of an application to fashion college. So did I manage 40 days? I did! After the 40 days were up, I got my phone back and saw that the grandma selfie got the most likes for any of my posts. And I had thousands more followers, even though I didn't post anything after that. And there were loads of comments from people at my school congratulating me on beating Chanel. They said, "Hey, tell us how it feels to win." I thought about posting a really cute pic of me in the dress, #winner, but I hadn't spent all that time making the dress to boast about it. I'd done it because I enjoy making things. And now, I get to make things all the time because the dress got me a place at the fashion college I'd always dreamed of going to. After giving up for 40 days, I never went on social media the same way. Now I just check it sometimes to see what people are up to, and the answer is not much. And hey, if you thought I was extreme with my social media, then check out what my friend did with theirs. And don't forget to subscribe.